Just waiting for it. There we go. Getting it to start on stream.
Oh, and here we go.
There is still a little bit of echo, but it's not quite as bad as it was, so that's fine. Right, what are we going to get in this first chest? Always a heart piece. Okay. Never had any doubts. So I don't really expect anything super different from the usual items and such. Well, maybe not items, but the usual sort of progression way at the start of these. It's pretty much a case of get yourself some bombs, or get the Pegasus boots would be the best one, but get yourself some bombs and hopefully you can just get all of the items in Escape without having to come back with the power gloves. So, looks like a nice and healthy start in this seed though. We are seeing the full heart container as well as the piece of heart. Ooh, poking the bushes instead of slashing them. That's actually not bad because it gives you the spin attack to kill the guard with, and that one usually comes down to you anyway. So even though it's very slightly slower to well-timed slashes, the fact that you don't have to slash the guard twice there actually makes up for that. So long as you hit him with the spin, I suppose.
Almost looked like he tried to damage boost off that guard there.
Hey, I'm not entirely sure why Alanim doesn't kill the guards there. Like, that feels as if it's just something you should do because you're looking for bombs. Oh, it misses the timing on the spin attack as well. But as soon as I say that, a bomb drop would come down because +5 to bomb that the racers have started with here. So
that's how it goes.
It is. It really is. So with the way these things are set up, you don't get arrows when you get a +5 or a +10 capacity increase, but you do get one bomb for every +5 that you get. So a +10 capacity for the final upgrade you would get from Venus is actually 2 bombs in your inventory. So I think the reasoning for that is because they've removed some of the triple bomb items in order to make space for the single rupee, in order to make space for the bomb capacity upgrades. So that's pretty much why. Alright, I will get on the tracker. I'll do my best to keep up this stuff here, but I am notoriously bad at maintaining the trackers during these because that is not my usual duty when commentating, so I will do my best, but no promises.
I think we'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, probably. Ooh, the green guard.
Getting that guard into the cell there.
Oh, wow. Sometimes you just have to try and trap the guard into, but when you open the door, there's no closing again, so makes you wonder how they got the door locked in the first place. God just doing this job, yep. Nah, there's no reason to feel mean for it. It's, like I said, it is not usually the way that I do these things. We usually have somebody else doing the tracker in the background, so like I said, I will do my best. Maybe if we get a massive gap between the two players, then it's easier to maintain because you're focusing on one side, but and by massive gap, I do of course just mean route divergence. I don't necessarily want one person to get massively far ahead of the other. That would be a bit less entertaining as a race per se, but then again, I guess it depends what sort of gambles get taken at that point.
We'll have to see after Escape if they have any different routing decisions. I think the most popular route usually is to go instantly check Lumberjack item.
Yes.
From what I've seen.
Amazing Armforce is a big advocate of going to the south of Hyrule first if there's a couple of conditions that get met for it. So my usual 3 sets criteria for that is less than 50 rupees, more than about 3 or 4 bombs, and no because that way what you're looking for is you're looking for a bottle and enough rupees to do all of Kakariko in one shot. So
That's always a good thing to be able to do, for sure.
Yeah, because Kakariko without the flute is kind of long to walk back to, especially when you don't have Pegasus boots. A lot of the seeds don't get boots particularly early. So if you're able to knock out every item location there in one shot, then that definitely makes things so much easier for keeping track of what you've done and haven't done. So you only have one bomb, make sure you don't waste it. If you're looking at things from a EOD going up to the top one here, is he...
Oh, he almost skipped it looked like.
Almost skipped it, and now we have the Bobby Shield. I still personally like the small shield. I know it's a bit weird, but I do kind of like it, because you get to block the arrows and such, and the rocks from the auto rocks I can actually hang. As Alanim looks like he has frozen on the restream, but I hear... Yeah, he's having some frame issues, but I hear his stream still going, so... And yeah, I guess that was the sign card there too, because they have a full health refill off of that. Yeah, Alanim is still going. I can hear his audio, but I can't say, okay, just 50 for that. Yeah, I don't... Like, his stream is lagging a little bit, so... So just bear with it, he will return. This is always what I fear will happen to me during my runs, is that, because my internet's not the greatest in general. Oh, Fairy's out the poultry for the blue tier reward there, that's kind of interesting. Instantly just checking the green tier here. I don't, unless you're gonna go for the red tier as well, I don't really agree with checking the green tier on this particular bush as well, but not bush, the tree as well. Looks like red potion is the item from Aga here, and EOD just flat out ignored it. I know you guys are having a bit of trouble as well seeing Alanim stream here, but he went into the cave and he saw a red potion in the lumberjacks. It is possible.
You've seen that before I did. Wow.
It is possible that that is required at some stage. Except when Beetle comes up, so... Yeah, as it turns out, in the tree here, it looks like there was Beetle, but I always just call it Beetle anyway. So the bottle here is really nice to find. Well, there is nothing with a fairy, so I guess we'll just click on the old thing to give an empty bottle.
I'm just
Lots
gonna
of
sync the two streams with each other.
Right. Okay. Lots of bombs there for EOD off of the one crow there, which is pretty good. So we'll see when the streams resync again how this ends up. Yeah, because I saw Alanim stream buffering an awful lot on the restream here, so I need to wait a little bit before I can continue myself. But an important point to note at the moment is that Alanim is out of bombs right now, and EOD is not. So if there's no bombs in any of the 4 chests in the open section of Blind's hut here, he's gonna have to come back into here, whereas EOD does not. So...
Yeah, he might actually have to buy some.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Luckily enough, there were bombs in there, so that's fine. There were plenty of bombs in there. Okay then, this is good because they have enough money to get the merchant item and a bottle to get the sick kids item. So no worries about having to backtrack in this area. Lots and lots of bombs.
9 bombs. Nice.
Well, that does mean he doesn't have to buy anymore, so very convenient. those bombs do not go to waste on EOD though, because of the bomb capacity upgrade that they got during escape. So, interesting decision to walk down the stairs there instead of just going straight to the well and coming back round there. I think it's maybe slightly slower, but I will be totally honest with you, I've never even tried to time that, so I don't know exactly how that sets up. All the money! We may be seeing Zora coming in at some stage here.
Would probably be a good idea.
Oh, the puns in the chat. Oh, how I love them so. Okay, so in the end, both of them are pretty much synced up here anyhow, so...
Somehow EOD has 50 rupees more, though. I missed how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, probably from checking the trees.
Possibly. I don't remember there being any red rupees or anything in the trees, though, so... It might have been the mushroom item that Alanim maybe didn't pick up and we didn't see just because of the stream stuff, but...
He also got a red rupee in the Lost Woods.
Oh, okay. And there's the plus 10, so that's the extra 2 bombs they're saying. So now their capacity is already at 30 for bombs. That's kind of a little bit excessive. Just a little bit. So, synchronized arrow boost pickup here. Yeah, I think Alanim's still having a bit of stream issues here, but that's fine.
Nothing but bombs so far.
Yeah, not a very great start to this either. A ton of money in the library, so if you do get to stuff, I mean, EOD has already got enough money for Zora right now, so the likelihood of having to get bombs here, get money here, maybe not so high. Not entirely sure where Alanim is going at this point, because you would normally want to save quid out of here.
Yep.
There's no added lift upgrade to make this quicker, so you can clearly see the difference here between the two. That EOD is already most of the way down towards the dam here, and Alanim hasn't even reached the house yet. So, in case anybody was wondering why we save quit after seeing what the race item is, this is why.
Yep, and I imagine he'll probably fake flippers to Zora after the hype cave. We'll see if he checks the ice cave as well.
Yeah, that's one I see a lot of people skipping, and generally for good reason, but I still get it anyway because I have had a few seeds where it has bottlenecked around there, so...
Yeah, and that's a terrible feeling if you skip that and then like an hour later you find out you needed it.
Yeah. So nothing really special at the dam. The money doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters a little bit to Alanim, I guess, because he doesn't yet have 500, but even then, by the time you have access to Zora, you're in this siege, you're probably going to have the 500. Whoa, that was an interesting Moldor movement. Can't say I was expecting it to cross the gap at the top there.
Those trolly mini Moldorms.
So, what do we got in the light hype cave here?
So, it's impressive that without saving and quitting, Alanim basically caught up.
Yeah. Heart container increase, I suppose. Very healthy, but nothing much else. So with no progress items whatsoever at the moment, this is where you've got to be thinking, I need to check some of the far out locations here as well. I definitely want to be checking Ice Cave, whether or not I was going to do it anyway, because that is somewhere where the logic could expect you to go. And Fake Flippers is not, so even though you might get some progress out of the item there, it's not your first choice.
Yeah, it's never going to be required, but it is still a nice fast way to get to Zora when you have this much money.
Yeah. I would maybe not use it for Zora at the moment, though. I would use it for Hobo first, and then Zora later. So many bombs! All of the bombs here, as EOD just save quits out after getting that. Not going for the Fate Flippers. Don't really blame him. There's plenty of contention even among players who can do it as to whether or not they do. I think Alucard said...
Sahasrara's stash.
Yeah, I think Alucard said he doesn't do it most of the time. He tends to get really good times as well, so it's not always a required thing for that. Alanim is probably going to do it, though, looking at the way he's moving at the moment.
He does not seem to be a fan of the save and quit so far.
No. Definitely. So, as a quick little aside, I never see anybody do here. If you toss that bomb to the right-hand side, you can actually pick up the pot from the left-hand side there and just get into this back room a little bit quicker. Wow, nothing here either. That's... I think at this stage, I would have just gone into Eastern. I know a lot of people think that is a gamble early on, but when you have literally nothing coming out of here, the only other place that you could go where the logic would want you to go is Desert Palace's the Desert Cave outside. And that looks like that's where EOD is going. I don't like this myself because it's one item that's really far out of the way. He was closer to Eastern than he was to this place, and there's at least 2 items in there, sometimes 3 if you get good luck with the map and compass placement.
I would actually have to agree with you, but we'll see if his gamble pays off.
It could do. I haven't seen very much that's good in here. Meanwhile, the Moon Pearl from Fate Flippering here doesn't really give a lot of immediate advantages, but that is a huge thing to have before going too far here.
It's a nice thing to get.
The Moon Pearl being there means that...
Oh, that paid off! Okay.
Wow. See, this is Randomizer in a nutshell. We didn't agree with that move, but it turned out to be a freaking good move. However, this only leads to 1 new item location immediately. And that is still a good thing, but it depends now what is in that rubble pile, which is exactly what EOD is going to check just now, I think.
We'll see if Alanim actually heads into Eastern after finding that there's nothing here. Yeah, that spot that had the boots does not usually have anything good. I've seen it a couple times this tournament.
This is the first seed that I've seen it in a long time, and yeah, I played a lot of these things recently as well as watching them. Oh, it had Tempered Sword!
Okay.
So if he had Fate Flippered to get the Moon Pearl here, he would be able to enter Dark World. Not really be able to do much within it, but would be able to enter Dark World via Aganim. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. So right now, the way that this is progressing seems to be linear, as Alanim is also going to the desert spot here. Very interesting. We haven't seen either of them use the map yet, so we don't know if Eastern's even required. But it's interesting in such a resource-poor seed to see these guys still being so averse to doing Eastern without a bow. But it has paid off this time.
So we already have our first call, looks like. Oh no, there's a bunch of people that think flippers are going to be on the pyramid.
I actually don't think it's going to be there because... I mean, it could be, because then you could also be led towards Zora. So it's not a bad call, but I don't think it's necessarily what is there. I'm going to go with a lift upgrade myself.
I'm going to say Titansmiths are at Zora.
Yeah.
But
oh, at Zora, okay. Alright, so now we're getting the good luck green.
Since you actually have to have the power glove to get to Zora, legitimately. We'll see.
That's kind of rough seeing green pendant at Eastern and blue pendant at Tower of Terror. So only one Dark World dungeon is going to be potentially skippable in this run. Could this be the seed where Master Sword is required?
Chat always hopes so.
I haven't actually checked up on the progress of the races in the last couple of days, so I don't know if either of any of the races recently have did the thing. I know there's been a few good but not required items out there, like Quake, but I don't actually know if we've already had one of those legendary 3% seeds.
I didn't see it, but I heard last night there was a cane of Samaria there.
Ooh, okay, so we have actually had one, then.
Yep, first one, I'm pretty sure.
That's rough.
Done about 100 races already.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it? That so many have been done. And it looks like Alanim is actually going to Easton before checking the rubble pile. Interesting. Obviously, this means he does not have the sword here. I think maybe the logic is that, well, this is a pendant dungeon. Even though it is green pendant, this is a pendant dungeon, which means I don't necessarily have to finish this dungeon anyway. So, why not just check it?
Like you said earlier, he could still have access to 3 items if...
Oh, it finds the hook shot! Oh, boy!
Very nice.
So this is the funny thing, like we were saying, oh, you should have gone here first, and as it turns out, yes, but they got a good item in the meantime. I would just finish the rest of this through here, though. I wouldn't save quit out of here by now. Because there's not really any point. I have seen and done many seeds where save quitting out of a dungeon just as soon as you get like one item has caused a lot of ire, you know, with the pendant dungeons. You end up not going back there ever, and the one other item you needed to finish the seed was further in the dungeon. So I wouldn't save quit yet.
I've done that as well.
Who knows? Maybe this is where flippers are as well. Oops, EOD getting hit by the electric shot there. I didn't actually see what was in that chest. Was it the big key?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Plenty for boots. Yeah, see, we are bad at keeping the tracker going here. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're right.
Alright, so what are we going to see on the pyramid? It is the flutes! Oh, that was... Okay, so that wasn't what I was expecting, but that does lead to the same general area that I was thinking before. That is, going up to the mountain. So hopefully Alanim remembers to check the rubble pile pretty soon and get Tempered Sword, because if he does that and goes to Aga, which I think he's going to have to do, then he will have that flute, and he already has the Moon Pearl, so that could be pretty useful. Yeah, the flute without the hook shot, though, is the thing. So, the interesting thing with this at the moment, I don't think I would have Pegasus boots for quite a long time in this seed. Don't die here, you're gonna have to kill the enemies now, I think. Because you do need to take... you could take 2 health damage here, but I think just killing the enemies is faster at this point. So, EOD... I don't believe he checked what this was before going into the Lumberjack, but you may as well get it whilst you're going in a general direction. If it's nothing, it's nothing, but it could be something even more important, and because you kind of just did Agin him anyway, I don't really fault him for doing that. So this is another neat play, knowing that you are so close to getting Zora. This is actually pretty good, saying I'm going to go to, hopefully, I'm going to go to the right-hand side here, and I'm going to get the 80 rupees, I believe it is, that's in that room. There are 2 sets of 5 rupees in there. So yeah, that would give him enough. Unless...
No, I guess he doesn't... I don't know what he's doing without the bow.
I don't think he got the bow, did he? So... I guess he's just forgotten that you need the bow in order to finish this dungeon. Yep, so Swagbird has been unlocked for EOD. really interesting seeing the advantage and disadvantages that each person has. Yeah, and it's just forgotten. So yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to see that right-hand rim, but that would have solved the rest of his quote-unquote rupee issues here. Not safe quitting to the Sanctuary. Fortunate. So right now you got to be thinking, well, what can I do? I've checked every overworld location and I don't have any way of progressing. We know the chain has to be rubble pile into Aghanim, but question is, do you remember that? As the mushroom gets picked up. That's an interesting one. EOD picking up the fetch questiest of items, but you know, that's not bad when you've got the flute. Yeah, I think Alanim's a little bit stuck at the moment, not quite realizing. I do always say that the rubble pile is one of the top 3 locations to forget in the entire game, and it looks like that has been remembered now, but here's a point of contention as to...
there's a book.
That's interesting, because if he gets the mirror... Oh, no mirror though. So mirror... I want to say the mirror is going to be on the right-hand side then. I think EOD has to go... put that mushroom in, and then if that doesn't lead to anything, go to Easton. The Tekatite decides to be a cave Tekatite for a sec there.
I'm gonna guess the mushroom is going to give a lift upgrade.
Which would be neat, but wouldn't actually solve anything at the moment. And, well, they would give something.
Yeah, regular access to Zora.
So thankfully Alanim quickly working out where he needs to go. It is the mirror, okay.
Nice.
So mirror wasn't quite where I hoped it would be, but now that gives access to the book. And even though Tower of Hera is a pendant, yeah, you can't lift that yet. Even though Tower of Hera is a pendant dungeon, that does give you access to it, as well as giving you the book, which gives you Ether Tablet. So this is still a pretty strong play from EOD here. Of course, if he had done Easton, as we know Alanim has done, then this would be even stronger because he would have access to the hill shot.
Eastern Death Knell.
Yeah. Which although, because of that fake flippers, if Alanim finds Titan Mitts on that side, then he's going to be laughing because you can just do Dark World Death Mountain as well at the same time, and that would be really very, very strong.
That's 15 chests, I believe, if you can do it all at once.
He's getting a little bit destroyed by the Assassin Guard type thing there. I always hated those guys because they just aggro so quickly on you.
Yeah, at least he has the Temperance Sword.
Oh, there's the flippers. Okay.
Wow.
So the flippers from the Ether Tablet leading into the Moonpearl from Hobo. And potentially items from Zora too. So I think EOD is working out, do I want to actually go in here? And he's just like, well, it's maybe a relevant pendant dungeon, but we're going to do it anyway.
It's so fast to do this place.
Yeah, the only catch... Oh, not picking up Smokey
he doesn't
there.
have fire, though, if he does have to go in with these.
Yeah, I'd still pick it up anyway, though, because you may need to come back in here. It is, like, 2 seconds to pick the key up versus, you know...
Yeah, it takes a lot longer if you have to go back for it. Oh, not opting to go any further, though.
Interesting. He had the option to, and he decided against it. Getting a little bit destroyed in the dark section here, Alanim. Alright, but flippers in tow, we are just going to see, looks like Zora. No Zora, okay.
Check the island first.
Hopefully he goes straight to Hobo with this. So, just a hot piece on the island, no problem there.
And having the flute, he doesn't have to save and quit after the Hobo.
Yeah, this is true. This is actually a hidden sort of advantage here with having real flippers rather than doing the fake flippers strat here. Is he actually will just be able to go onto that shallow water there and use the flute. Nice safety play there. I actually didn't see, maybe there was a fairy drop or something. I didn't actually see how Alanim got his health back, but good on him for doing so. I don't believe there was a potion yet that he could have gotten. We know the one from the Lumberjacks, but that is after beating Aganim here. So, interesting, not opting to use the flute for EOD here. Interesting decision. He is going to Zora, but not using the flute to do so. Not really the biggest of deals, I don't think. Even so, like, swimming along that bit can be awkward to do quickly, so... What do we see here? Just a blue rupee on the edge there. That's not a good start. There are plenty of places which are currently open, so it's possible that King Zora has the other green rupee or the single arrow. Something not actually useful here. Not that we're hoping for that, of course, but... Oh! Commentator's curse on it there! Ouch! Okay, so Eastern is the only option. No, it's not the only option. He has the book, right? So Desert Palace is an option here.
And I believe that's the only crystal in the light world.
Yes. So because Green Pendant is the Eastern. So I think that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see Desert Palace now. He can get most of the stuff here, potentially gonna miss one item, as it looks like Alanim is about to get the flute and is gonna be very, very happy with this. It's a rare red rupee worth 500, right? So there's nothing else you can actually do in the Dark World at the moment except check these. Oh, that's lucky. Turtle Rock is red, so you do not have to do that dungeon in the scene. That is extremely fortunate when you only have one potential pendant dungeon in the Dark World. So that means we don't have to worry about finding the Ice Rod. So of course that means the Ice Rod is going to be accessible, but we don't have to find it, which is really good.
Unless Trinex has an item.
Oh, Trinex with... What could it even have at this point? Good. The medallion for Meyer, I suppose. That's about the best one I can think of. So, big key. I didn't actually see what the other chest was here. I'm assuming there was not a whole lot in there, but for EOD, I saw the big key in the usual chest it would be in, but I didn't see what the other one was. Arrow, good. Okay, thank you, Chad. And then just bombs on the top there. That means both items are accounted for in this dungeon, so this is not the location you need to be right now.
So he knows the big chest and the boss both just have the map and or the compass.
Oh, that's right. It could be silver arrows as the Trinex item. That happened in my second race, actually. Silver arrows were the Trinex thing, which was a green pendant dungeon. So...
Yeah, hopefully no silverless, because that's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, Bent Glass couldn't actually do silverless, so... kudos to EOD here, knowing, although he can't lift the thing up there, knowing that this is the direction he had to go. It's a bit of a shame that he didn't do this before doing Aganim, because Easton, for whatever reason, like there's no reason you would ever come back up here after doing the dungeon, because you don't even need to get a Sahajula's item or anything. For some reason, this place gets jacked out with the red guards here. They do a full heart of damage as well in email, so we may actually just see a death here. There is one more guard to deal with. We camped you on the top here, so...
Yeah, they are really annoying.
Thankfully got away with it, because yeah, that is pretty savage. So... It's going to be interesting seeing exactly what Alanim does here. Whether he goes into Tower of Hera and actually aims to complete it a bit more, or whether he skips out. Of course, he's got to go get the mirror first, but...
Did he get the mushroom yet? I forgot where that was.
Yeah, he's gotten the mushroom because that's the old man item, but he hasn't gone down the mountain again. Because he has the hookshot and EOD did not, he is going to go and check the other side of Death Mountain first, which I do agree with. I think this is the way around I would do it, because you're not to know that the mirror is there. I was expecting the mirror to be on this side of Death Mountain, so just based on that, I would go here first. You've always got the flute, so you can go back out to the mushroom later on.
There's probably something good here too.
Yeah, so...
Almost always is.
Uh-huh. So EOD finding the hookshot.
I wonder if he'll go straight to Death Mountain.
Oh, Cane a burner. I mean, it's not amazing, but when you don't have a cape, it's nice to have the safety eyes in. So just a nice, easy take care of the thing here. Bombs are the only option that Alanim currently has to get across there. Boomerang is quite good if you've got it. The Fire Rod can get over that gap as well. Master Sword being there. Fortunately not of any use. And the shovels. Well, at least he can shovel dash, right? For all the good that actually does. So not... Is he going to check Spiral Cave? Interesting. I don't really see why you wouldn't check it there, but it is a slow location to check. It's going to be a slower location to go back to, so in before Titansman's up there. It could still be. I'm honestly not hoping for the worst for these guys, but still. I've got to figure out exactly what he wants to do here. He's trying to decide in his head. Since you're down here, I think the mushroom is the logical place to go. It looks like whatever his decision is, he has made it. You could have just safe quitted inside the place there. So going to the house. Maybe he's gonna go check Desert as well. No, going for the shovel. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to go check Desert up that because you could have just used the flute. So going to check the shovel before the mushroom. Not a bad idea. So it looks like EOD has made his way back up to the mountain here.
You can do both of the fun quest items. Shovel and then mushroom.
Oh, the Fire Rod! Ho
There we
ho
go.
ho! My favorite weapon of the game has shown itself here. That is very good, because now if you
can beat Desert.
Yes, and also Tower of Hera if he so decides, because that is a fairly quick dungeon. The one saving grace for the single crystal in the light world here is that it is crystal 5. So crystal 6 hopefully is easily accessible, and then the Fat Fairy comes into play. Oh, sorry, Sakura's double-chested fairy. Have to be politically correct, right?
No, we don't.
Of course we don't, but... yeah, there's still no lift upgrades at the moment. Dark World, by the looks of it... interesting choice. It is possible for him to get to the Village of Outcasts from here, because he has the flippers. May have remembered this. This is not bad if he does, but the problem is he didn't get the mirror first, so...
Can you swim there? I think you have to hookshot there, don't you?
Okay, no, so you can swim, because you can go up that, as you see where it is on the left-hand side there, you can swim up there. There is a...
But there's no ladder to the
There
west
is.
side.
There is a ladder on the east side here, and then you hookshot across. So if you can just about make it out on his map at the moment, right above where his head is, there's a ladder bit there, and then there's the hookshot spot you can see the arrow to there.
Yeah, I know
You
where the
can
hookshot
actually,
spot is.
yeah, but you can actually make it across there because of where the ladder is. So it is possible to visit Village of Outcast, but the mushroom is the better first spot to hang out. That spot is really easy to forget. I didn't know about it until a while back, but thankfully I've never needed it. So
Looks like Bombos is on the island. I didn't see it 100%, but
that's pretty cool. So not using the flute, to get to the spot here. It's these sort of minor things that can add up, as EOD needs to be really careful not to get bopped by the mini Moldon there. Sets fire to the potion as well. And all of that for 5 rupees. Oh man. Did we miss anything on his tracker with that? Yeah, the shovel would have been picked up. So now the mirror on Alanim's side as he fire rods to place in disdain. Okay, that's pretty cool. So EOD is immediately going to turn in that shovel, immediately going to get the fire rod off of this. Good use of the hook shot to speed things up a little bit. Although, maybe not the second one, because dashing into the guard was probably quick. Even so, good use of the hook shot. Credit where credit is due. And straight in with that fire rod. So now the players are basically even.
Pretty much. And he's gonna go straight for desert.
So, I don't know if I like this. And the only reason for it is because we have seen both items that are in the dungeon. So, he's basically just getting a crystal here, which is fine, but Misery Mire is also required. So, you would ideally want to do the 2 in combo.
Well, he needs the Titansmith first.
Yes. But even so, I don't really see a tangible benefit for doing this crystal right now. Like, I think there are other priorities that you should be taking first. Oh, Puffle, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Alright, Flippers picked up for Alanim here. I'd be interested to see if he decides to do all of Hera.
Yeah, there was no fire rod for EOD when he was in here, so Alanim could if he wanted to.
So, I mean, I think I would have cleared Moldol out anyway, and probably just eaten the time loss, but I would have cleared it out anyway. And where's EOD going now? He's decided on going somewhere else, I think. Maybe he's remembered that you can get to Village of Outcasts from here? I mean, he's picked up a fairy, which is quite nice to get the health back. Interesting decision from Alanim as well. Going down to the basement without first going upstairs, since he has the big key. Taking the death here, probably intentional actually, just because he had no health left. And he didn't pick up the red potion, actually, from the lumberjack yet. He knows that it's there, but he hasn't picked it up. So, no healing right now, just a bee. Alright, EOD's actually risking Palace of Darkness. This is a big gamble. No bow, no hammer means you can not really go very far in this dungeon. We'll see. I like the tile just self-destructing on the top there. I've not seen that before, that's pretty good. No attack on the final tile. You can attack that last tile so that you know, with a fire rod or something, just so you can clear that room a bit quicker. Not really necessary, but it is kind of nice to just speed the place up. Ooh, using a lot of magic there, just for the dungeon map. So the basement wasn't actually necessary. If EOD had just stuck to the guns and cleared the dungeon, he would have had to come back to it potentially. We'll just have to see. Are there any items in that place? Speaking of items though, we haven't exactly seen much from the keys in the early area here. It's kind of expected. Palace of Darkness, you need a lot of keys very quickly, so not really too much to be concerned at, as I didn't get to see what was in that chest, and it's not a small key. I didn't get to see what was in the chest because of the restream frame dropping for me, so it doesn't look like there was much there, though. So, hopefully... Oh, big key was there? Okay, well that's not too bad then. Big key in its usual spot. Oh
no, the fall.
This is why you don't use the hookshot from that distance. So you want to make the gap closer to the big chest and go from there. That way you don't actually fall for that, because you can see where the Sparky is. But, I mean, you can see it from there, but you've just got to be a bit more vigilant about it. Still getting hit off at the end. But, apparently, I missed the Titansmith over there. So, yeah, Titansmith and Tower of Hera, and EOD could have had it.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that either. That's going to help him quite a bit.
Yeah, so Alanin's play here, yeah, you need to let that fire go. You can't get past that. Alanin's play here definitely paying off. As we've seen attempted darkroom stuff, I didn't actually see if there were any items he picked up in there.
I don't think he got anything in the darkroom.
Just a whole bunch of money otherwise, so yeah, it looks like not even going to get the... I mean, I don't blame him necessarily. The room outside Helmasaur, you can use the fire rod out on the outskirts of it as soon as you enter. Alanin's gotta be careful. Don't get bopped by the silly mole.
So
Don't this. No! That should have been it! Ah, there we go. Spin attacks with the level 2 and these swords do actually do extra damage to bosses. So that is why he killed it there in just a 2 hits. So EOD's going back up the mountain here. Going maybe to check Hera now. Yeah, spin speed post Aghanim is really irritating to do on stuff here. Yeah. Interesting that since he got Titansmith, I'm surprised that Darkworld Death Mountain wasn't checked there as well.
Yeah, that would have probably been the better call. We'll see what Myers' medallion is, though. So
the overall routing that I would have taken myself here is I would have actually done Tower of Hera, and when I went up in the first place, if I could have. Guess the mushroom would have kind of stunted that a bit, but with a check the east side Death Mountain, then having done Tower of Hera and finding Titansmith, I would have definitely gone ahead and checked what was in Darkworld side there, because there's plenty of scope for some good items to be in that direction. So there's the Titansmith for EOD. That's it. I think it was just a bunch of rupees as the items from the Alanim side there. Oh, yeah! I didn't even spot that before. There's butter on EOD's side. Maybe he found that in the dark. That's interesting. Okay, we'll need to update that in a sec. Right, so he got Titansmith and he got butter. That is, yeah, very interesting. Bomb Burst required for Maya, and Bomb Burst was an item that we saw before, right?
It's on the island.
Yes.
Alanin would have been able to go to if he would have gone that way.
He would have been able to go to, wouldn't he? So, although he doesn't have the other stuff that's required yet, so... You know, Cane of Samaria, for example, kind of important. Lamp, pretty important. Alanin made a really good go at it, going into Maya Lampless in the race yesterday, and max respect to him for that, but he unfortunately didn't manage it. So, I'm pretty sure he'll be looking for the lamp first.
I saw that. He was so close, too.
Really was. It was super unfortunate.
That is a very tough thing to do.
Like I said, I've already said, guys, I'm terrible at updating the tracker myself. I'm sorry. Alan does have the book because he's got the flippers, of course, from the Ether tablet. So I did say I'm terrible at updating the tracker. I am Both have blue pendant. Yeah, they do. I suppose that does actually matter a little. To get the Master Sword. So, EOD now with the Titansmith in tow. So it looks like you didn't have to do the fancy route going around this time, so that's fine. But that's just bombs in the thing there. But it is still possible, and it's one of those really obscure routes that you just don't think of. Is usually you think of it if you've got a lift upgrade or the hammer so that you can actually pound the peg down. But you don't necessarily think about being able to get to Village of Outcasts using the flippers, so...
Alanim not paying attention to his dungeon items, checking that big chest for the compass.
Yeah, he should have realized he's already got both of them by now. Going into the fairy room here, this is something you don't normally get to see. There are actually 2 fairies in here, so long as you can figure out the arbitrary puzzle and get shot as soon as he comes out of the room. That's a bit unfortunate.
Ice Rod, his HP, I guess, even with Tempered Sword.
EOD just find the Ice Rod, apparently.
Oh, so did he?
Enough. Yeah, the pedestal can't have the hammer because Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon here, so... Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking what it could have that's required, because we know where Bombos is, so... Yeah, in the bombable house, okay. That house is really... That and the sea house are really easy to forget about if you're trying to, quote-unquote, optimize the route through and doing Thieves Town and stuff in between. Yeah, it can't have the lamp either, because you do need the lamp to clear a Turtle Rock.
Oh, speaking of the lamp.
Oh, not bad. So that'll definitely help EOD now, because he was, of course, trying to do those dungeons in the dark before. That's an important item, right? Yeah, the boomerang is totally important. Absolutely. Spoilers, I never used the boomerang. Yeah, that's true. It could always be silver arrows. You can always have silver arrows there.
The boomerang is the slag way to get through the portions of Left Ganon Tower.
So
I'm use the cane.
Yeah, I've tried to use the boomerang and I just can't quite. So I'm not going to mark out which crystal number they get every time, because honestly that's just too much hassle, and they don't even have numbers on the tracker, so that's up to interpretation. Some people would number them vertically, most would horizontally, but you could just say 1, 2, and 3 are in the same column, so I'm just going to number it by how many crystals they've got. That. Unless you have any objections to that.
I think we can do it in the right order.
I am just missing all the stuff here, apparently, because the bow was supposedly at the smiths here. That's super interesting. This is what happens when I try and get the tracker done. At the hammer in the sea. Okay, so apparently this would be the death of me in this seat, because I missed that in my first one. So yeah, that's a thing that happened.
So yeah, you tab over to update the tracker, and then you find something else.
Exactly! This is why I don't update the tracker! Alright, so... Because Alanim has not yet gone to the catfish... not the catfish, he's not yet gone to Zora. This makes sense as a play here. Going catfish and Zora in one combo is pretty strong. EOD trying to do the hookshot tech here, it's probably better just not at this point. You have a short amount of time after you, I think it's like a couple of frames, that didn't pay off in the end anyway, but you can dash with the chest if you hookshot first.
It's 3, yeah, it's not a very long window.
Catfish only having an arrow boost, so we know this is going to be a fruitless endeavor, unfortunately. That's an interesting position to put yourself in first, and it looks like EOD is now going in Town. Do not mind this decision at all. He has the hammer, so... And the cape now, that's
cape,
pretty good.
Yes.
I do like me some magic cape. Yeah, so I'm getting shot by the fireball on the way past. Always awkward to time that. So yeah, I do not mind this at all. Thieves Town, even when it's a pendant, is still quite often an important dungeon to go into. It is a crystal this time too, so added bonus that way. But definitely worth going in here when you can.
So neither of them have gone to Dark World East Death Mountain, though.
No, they have not. And yes, there is a functional difference between the cane and the cape. The cane of Burner has an attack going around it, the sparkly, which tends to lag the game quite a lot. And the cape actually makes you invisible entirely, so you can just go through everything. This actually lets you go through bumpers, so the so-called cape cave, or the bumper cave that's where the Dark World, the Death Mountain entrance in the Light World is. That is something you do with the cape. So interesting to see where Alanim is going now. He's traversing back through the Dark World here. Maybe he is going to go Village of Vatcastle here, but I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense because you can use the mirror to check the graveyard spot whilst you're doing this. But this just feels a bit slow because I think he would be better off just going to the Kakariko and then going in from that side. But yes, this is the spot which I was talking about before. You can actually swim up that stream, and there you can see the ladder just as he was moving away.
Yeah, but the ladder only goes to the west side.
Yep, and then you will go one screen transition down and use the hookshot. Where he used it just now. So yeah, little known direction to go in, and I think that was needed in the exhibition race because no lift upgrade was acquired before going to Village of Outcasts, and everything else was there for it. Yeah, so I think we just need to find Cane of Samaria. Yeah, and that's going to be that.
And Bombos, but we know where that is.
Yeah, we know. Since we know where Bombos is, it's not as big of a priority for that. It is annoying having to go back up the mountain for it, but who knows? Maybe Cane of Samaria is in the Hookshot Cave. So here we are seeing quite a far out of the way item to pick up. Picking up some of the hearts there as well, and just rupees. Unfortunate, looks like the routing decision did not truly pay off here. Yeah, Total Rock.
The bumper cave.
Yeah. So at least he knows what item is up there. I don't mind the way that he's gone around, I just don't think it's as fast as going from the opposite direction. I think I understand why he's doing it this way. I just don't think it's the quickest way that you could have done it. But it still makes sense to check these. He is at least checking a lot of places in succession, getting wrecked by the birds there as well. Just rupees up there this time, as Blind is giving a pizza joke, which is kind of funny because I actually had pizza today, so sort of fitting.
Has either runner checked the Dark World Hype Cave?
No, neither one of them's been in the area yet. Yeah, use the cape just to make sure that you don't get killed at the end. I like the philosophy of... Oh, nice bonk off that there. That's position based.
Oh no! Oh, he's got the cape though, okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of that, of just going for as long as you can without using the cape and then going, okay, I'm gonna die here, I'm just gonna use the cape now. Because if you didn't need to use it, then you wouldn't have to waste time in the magic refill and stuff at the end. Green Pendant is Eastern Palace. So this is the way around that I would have hoped. Unless, I mean, maybe Skull Woods is getting done here. That I would not be against either. But this is the way around that I would have hoped that Alanim would have done stuff. Is there he finds the Ice Rod. because EOD has basically done a whole bunch of stuff, and then is doing the only thing that Alanim has yet had an advantage on him with. As we've seen the C-shaped house, that's going to yield the hammer here. Goes. Sahashal has the cane. Oh, it could be. You do have bow in tow, so it could be that Sahashal has got the cane. Yeah, so I think EOD is also going to check the catfish after this too, because that's the general area where he is right now. If you're going to check the catfish at all, this is the sort of time that you would check it. Is whilst you're checking the rest of North Dark World.
I'm only seeing one crystal on EOD's start menu. Did he finish Desert?
No, he did not. He decided to go out of it. So, both runners checking locations that I think the other has checked. We see the bow, of course, now. Pretty good. I didn't actually get to see what was in the chest from EOD there. Don't think it was anything, because I don't see anything different on Alanim's side that I would have missed off of that. So, yep, neither of them have checked the Hype Cave yet. So, yeah, this is good logic from EOD here. Like I was saying, it's a long trip around here, and if you've got the flippers, then it makes sense to go to the catfish here as well. Because the catfish is a very far out of the way item, and you really, I mean, you don't want to check it, but there's enough times where it's something very important. I've even had the mirror off of catfish before, so there's enough times where it's important to check that you just suck it up and do it anyway.
I'm having trouble with the purple chest.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and I'm not sure, since he has the hammer now as well, I'm not particularly sold on staying in the Dark World here. You could do all of this Dark World navigation much faster. It looks like he doesn't realize... Okay, just about to go to the shuttle game. This is why I don't like carrying him through the Dark World here, because you're wasting a lot of time just walking. Sure, you can check these locations, but you can do that with a dash as well, so there's no problem doing it that way. And since he has the hammer, it's not as if he's going to check the Bombos tablet after this without, you know, like he can do it, but it's not as if that's going to save him any time, because he can always just use the hammer to get to the swamp area.
Probably about to get the lamp.
Yeah, because that was from the tree, the flute kid, right?
Correct.
So it looks like EOD is taking this time now to do the dungeon, the Desert Palace dungeon. So that's not bad. He's in the area. He doesn't have to go all the way through the early section again. So pretty good timing on his end, I'd say.
Be even better if you had Bombos, though.
I'm not a fan of this positioning either. If you're going to carry the purple chest all this way, just get rid of it first. But again, I'm just criticizing everything from a speed perspective here. I'm sorry if I'm sounding too negative to everyone in this bit. I'm looking at it for there's the power glove.
Gotta go fast though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's nothing. I mean, they're still doing the right general motions and such. It's just looking at it as a sort of nitpicky being wow, Hype Cave did not live up to the hype here.
Yeah, that was not hype at all.
I guess there's not really a whole lot else that, apart from the Canis Samaria, there's not really a whole lot else that it could be hyped with. But yeah, I'm really not trying to be super critical or negative on these guys, because they are still doing a fantastic job. But if you're looking at it purely from a how best to route this thing, then, you know, these nitpicks are going to add up.
I think they'd probably like a mail upgrade, and of course silver arrows are always there.
Yeah, silver arrows are probably useful for both of these players. Although, EOD's been doing pretty well by himself here, and I know a lot of players have been practicing Silverless considering the first week of races here. So
yeah, there were some unfortunate Ganon finishes.
Yeah, definitely was. So are we going to see the Cane of Bombos? Because that would be really nice. Nope, we are going to see the butterfly bows. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's always funny seeing these really weird items coming out of that, like the flippers coming out of the Aether, or the Thunder Medallion tablet, and then the bug neck coming from the explosive bombos. That's pretty cool. So, are we gonna see maybe Thieves Town from Alanim now, or Skullwoods? Both of them are required, and he has the ability to do both. His health is really low for Skullwoods, though.
Can't believe none of them are going up to Death Mountain yet, but...
Yeah, that is somewhere where you would expect to go really early, but... Maybe they're hoping that they have everything... I mean, they have everything except Cane of Samaria as well, though, so... Maybe hoping that they don't need to go back up there immediately, then they can find Cane of Samaria first, save some time going through the Hookshot Cave. Again, I'm not a huge proponent of that, as I don't think is this a shop that's in here? It is a shop that's in here, okay. Wait, was that only 120 for that? Did they change the prices in here? Because I know that was 150 normally.
No, that's always 120.
Is it?
Yeah.
Every other potion shop is 150.
For a red potion? No way.
Yeah, every other potion shop is 150. Except for the witches, of course. And the basic shield is usually 50. Not ouch. Maybe in the others? I don't know. It might just be that particular shop. But
yeah, I'm not actually familiar with the prices for the out-of-the-way shops.
In every shop that I have ever seen that is not the witches, it was 150 and then 50 for the small shield. But that may be different for that particular shop because it's actually in a town. But check any of the Death Mountain ones, and I'm pretty sure it's 150 in there.
Yeah, you might be right on that. I don't know how many people ever go into the Death Mountain shops.
Exactly! Another bottle with a B, and Swamp Palace looks like it's the choice here. Not a bad play, there's a lot of items in this dungeon. Oh, missing the hammer dash. There you go. I'm getting bounced back for the that's nice knockback there. So we know that there wasn't really anything else in Thieves Town, but the cape is always nice to have just as insurance. Don't know what is in Swamp Palace yet, so this will be an interesting experience. The cane and the last useful item, or the last required item, has quite often been in Swamp Palace, actually. So maybe having seen some of the previous races, this might actually just be a, well, it's happened a lot of times in recent races sort of experience, so let's just go here. I'm hoping one of them goes to Skullwoods fairly soon because of the Master Sword pedestal, just so we can see what it is. Maybe they won't check it because they might have worked out they can't have anything useful at this point. This could also be Crystal 6. I didn't really see which one that is. So if this is the 6th crystal, then that opens up this ferry for an option here.
Alanim taking quite a bit of damage in the Hellway.
Yeah, it's really tough to get. I mean, you could just use the cape and dash through there, but I think he's saving the magic. Oh, there was Aether in here. I did not even see that. Whoops. Never mind. I mean, it's still not that amazing, but it's there. You may as well get it. So EOD taking quite a nice route around here. This is something you just need to remember not to accidentally flood the key when doing this, because it's not usual muscle memory to go this way around. But it does save a one backtrack going up with that key first. Get the key from the hookshot spot in the main room here. Go up instead of down, and then where you would normally get the key from the pot. Hit the crystal switch, get the key, go back up through the blocks to the pass through, and then you can flood the area. If you accidentally flood the key, then you can still get the 2 items over here, but you will then have to leave the dungeon and screen transition and reflood the dungeon basically, so that you can reset the water levels. Ouch.
That is quite a time sink that you would not want to have to mess with.
Yeah, it's. I don't know exactly how much faster it is to do it that way. I'm imagining no more than about 10-15 seconds. And if you mess it up, then you're wasting reflood the place.
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
Yeah, more if you don't have the mirror. So long as you can keep your memory intact, it's fine. That's really it. So I was kind of watching on Alanim's side there. I didn't see if there was anything useful in the chest there, but chat hasn't yelled at us yet, so I'm imagining it's nothing.
I was trying to remember where EOD got the butter sword from.
One of the dark rooms in Palace of Darkness, apparently. Because we definitely didn't see it, but he did get the 2 chests in the outskirts of Helmsol room. So gravity suit was in that big chest. Oh man. I mean, the Red Mail does have a purple hat, so it could be related to the gravity suit, I suppose. If you really think about it, if you really want it to be. Okay, so EOD is taking a slight misstep in terms of here. If you're still looking for the big key, got away with it. But if you're still looking for the big key, I personally think it's better going for the waterfall chest first, because if you get the big key in that chest, you're still coming down this way anyway. And if you don't get the big key in that chest, it could still be in one of these 2. Of course it could be at Argus, but then you're screwed either way. But it's just one of those of checking all of the possible spots that you can before coming back through. It turns out it didn't really matter anyway. Nothing too important there, but it's okay. Yeah, Blind can't even read a map, so I don't know quite what she's doing one there. Oh, losing all the things to the thief there. Not really gonna matter when you have about 60 arrows and 500 bombs though, so...
It looks like he's going to Skull Woods.
Yep. Oh, powder! That's cool.
That's always a nice safety item to have.
Yeah, I didn't have the powder in the run that I did just before commentating, so... with very few hearts and such as well. It was not a particularly kind run for that, but interesting entrance to take here. Not the usual way that you would expect to enter this dungeon, and that's basically the only thing you can get when going in this way. So EOD has to be a little bit careful as well, mind you, because he only has the 3 hearts, and this boss can actually do 3 hearts of damage in 1 hit to you, so... with green mail, you've got to be careful here. Oh, Alanim's not checking the main section of this dungeon. Maybe just going straight for it? But I don't know why you would do that when you've got mirror and flute. Oh well. He's gonna check the stuff. Or maybe hoping for the big key first? That is possible.
Alright. That was kind of close, but
yeah. So when you're pulling a statue compared to pushing the statue, you actually do move slower. Pushing is quicker than pulling. I mean, that's pretty much the same in real life too. So in general, you're going to push things better than you're going to pull them. But regardless of that fact, you do get caught by the hand if you're pulling the statue. You don't when you're pushing it. So it's a bit of a distinction to keep track of. Wonder if he's going to get the magic for it. It doesn't really need a lot of magic though. Right, one of the 2 items in the dungeon found. Not gonna take the magic here. If you bomb that right-hand wall, there is a single pot that has full magic there. And is EOD finally gonna check Darkworld Death Mountain? Looks like it. Oh, we see blue mail too. I didn't even spot that. It's pretty cool. Banana hat is always nice to see.
Hardness.
Nice. So he killed the boss with a few hearts left and got his reward of better armor. I like.
Butter Sword was apparently in POD.
Yeah, I didn't see it because it was in the dark room. But alright, just quickly gonna check the Master Sword item first. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind particularly when you check it. I think it's still fine. EOD not comfortable with the little clip that you can do with a hook shot there. A lonely arrow. Oh, it's the single arrow. We're not going to get to see that in anything now. How are we going to kill Aganim without that one arrow? Sorry guys, it looks like we're going to have to get the Master Sword item after all, otherwise this is an invalid run now. So,
item.
Yeah, that is the most important item in the entire run, that single arrow. You cannot complete this one without it. So yeah, little known facts for most people here is just pots which are underneath the wall there. And the reasoning for that is because it lets that little Sparky just go in the one area that they wanted it to. It looks like Alanim got lucky with the places that he checked there. He's found both of the items in the dungeon and he never went into the main body of it, so very lucky there. So I haven't heard anything too important in the Hookshot Cave. But you still got to go through so you can get the Bombos medallion here. Looks like sword beams are definitely working against Alanim right now. Very hard rupee, yeah. No sign of the cane, indeed. Could be at Ice Palace. That would be interesting. So I do definitely like Alanim's play of getting the red potion stuff there. He knows his own limitations quite well and is not afraid to take quote-unquote safety measures in order to keep himself alive, and that's very good to see.
70 arrows. He's found every arrow capacity upgrade.
That's impressive, I'm not gonna lie. Check in Spike Cave too. This is another one of the highly forgotten places to go. Cane of Burner is the better option here. It does use less magic than the cape, and it is possible with good dashing to get through all of this with the Cane of Burner and single magic. And that is exactly what has happened here. Just a heart piece for his troubles, so unfortunately nothing too good here. Good use of the potion by Alanim here. Moth is a very nasty boss to do with green mail. I remember my friend playing this for the first time a couple of months back, having a really hard time on this boss. Don't blame him at all.
Yeah, Mothula is not a fun boss to learn for most players.
No, not at all. So,
back to POD.
Yep, with all the items necessary in tow, this is not a bad thing. He's half completed the dungeon already, just needs to go to the Dark Maze and then to the end. So, not a bad call. The dungeon does need completed after all, and he might choose to finish off Easton afterwards as well, knowing that it is the green pendant. Actually, might just be entering Easton. I don't remember if... I'm pretty sure both players did go into Easton, so Because Easton had the hook shot, so he had to have at least part completed it. I think both players went as far as they could, so... Yeah, it looks like Alanim has not realized that he has already collected both of the items here, so he's gonna go check the big chest anyway. Oh, chucking a bomb into the hole because the mini Helmasaur there.
And they do also both have crystals 5 and 6, so we'll see if either of them check the Fat Fairy soon.
That is true. I knew... Oh, he doesn't even have the big key because the big key was one of the other 2 items here. And he didn't go through the rest of the dungeon. He only... this main section of the dungeon. He only checked the one item that, as you can see, the empty chest there. Only checked that one, and then went straight to the second half. So, yeah, he's going to end up picking up the rest of the stuff here. This is why you need to keep a good track on how many items are in each dungeon and whether or not you found them all. I'm guilty of this sometimes as well, usually with dungeons like Ice Palace or Palace of Darkness, where it's tricky to remember all of the places that you've gone. But, yeah, definitely keep an eye on how many chests that you picked up. So, EOD picking up the fairies there.
Swamp and Dark Palace both have so many items, it's easy to lose count.
Yeah, and like Palace of Darkness has 5 items in chests that are not small keys and other dungeon items. Ice Palace only has 3, and it's really easy to just forget how many that you have already picked up. So without the Cane of Samaria, this there is actually a different way of doing this, where I've seen players using the bonk that you get off of the stairwell in order to get back to the chest platform there. Yeah, just a small key. All of that trouble for a small key. But yeah, I've seen people use that bonk for it, and I used to only consider that bonk as a routing option. Ouch! Falling off the bridge. Gonna have to reset the room. Yeah, I thought that was only a routing option at first, but you can actually use it just so that you can hit the switch with an arrow or something like you would. So...
Yeah, I actually learned that recently myself.
Yeah, Hey told me that like a month or so before the tournament started, and I figured that's a really cool trick. Oh, nice silver arrows, okay. Yeah, it's a cool trick, but I didn't really think of it for that sort of application. But it is very interesting thinking of it in that sense, as that unfortunate bonk. So, for whatever reason, when you are directly in between 2 bushes, then you actually do bonk off of them as you dash into them. Wait, EOD didn't open the big chest there. Did he realize? Did he not have...
Does he not have the big key?
He's gotta have the big key, but has he picked up neither map or compass yet? As Alanim is going for the double-chested fairy here, and leaving the bomb on the top, that's not good. Needs to pick that up straight away, and no, so another hundo down the drain here. You do need to make sure of that, because you cannot fall off the ledge with the bomb there.
And yeah, it looks like EOD did decide that he checked everything else in the big chest, and Helmasaur King are just going to be dungeon items.
Nicely done. He's checked every other chest and he doesn't have map or compass yet, so it's a bit hard to tell when you have some of these things being navigated in the dark room. So Alanim didn't realize he could use the mirror to take a bit of a shortcut here. It's easy to forget because it's only applicable when you've killed Aganim, but you can actually use the mirror to take the bot into the light world.
And that saves about 25 or 30 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah, I could see that because you do end up straight in front of the pyramid. So I could see that being that sort of time frame. Big load of nothing though. He is going to throw an empty bottle in here though. This is something you can still do. You can't upgrade any items here anymore, but you can throw a bottle in and get a random item out. Hey, listen! I didn't actually notice you said that though. Getting the fairy out of there, that's pretty good. Definitely good safety net there.
think without half magic meter, I would have preferred the original green potion from that, but
Sure, but even
fairy's nice
so,
too.
yeah, the fairy's probably the second best thing. Wow, I'd say blue potion's the best, and personally, I think green potion is the third best item to get there. But even so, I think the fairy, for the way that Alanim plays, is probably the best item he could have gotten.
Looks like he's going to enter POD about the same time that EOD finishes.
To see from the chat there, here is my least favorite child. Wow. That's all I can say to that. Just wow. I thought I was bad saying being like the merchant or the hobo were giving away their girlfriend whenever you had that. Come to okay, so
What is he doing?
yeah, if you're looking for a fairy fountain, you're not gonna find one around here.
There actually is one right to the south in the Dark World, but
Is that small fairies in the Dark World? Because I know it's the
oh no, that's a
Queen.
great
yeah,
fairy.
great fairy.
Yeah.
Alright, so EOD picked up another crystal there. I don't think there was anything else that he got. And it looks like Alanim has decided to go to Swamp instead of Palace of Darkness there. I mean, you can do either of them, so I probably would have just done Palace of Darkness there and then transitioned out to what EOD is doing, which is going straight into Eastern, as I hoped he would. So EOD's routing has been very good in this race, from what I have seen. Maybe with the exception of the whole Dark World Death Mountain stuff, but even then, that wasn't nearly as critical. There were plenty of other places it could go. Otherwise, I think his routing has been excellent this run so far. Not using the sword beam to kill the guys there is... Well, no, he used the sword beam on the second one, just the first one was still hit with a heart. It's lacking with... Oh yeah, because he had to use the bomb twice, didn't he? So yeah. He would have had enough if he didn't drop the super bomb at the start. Ouch.
He's hoping for King of Samaria from Armos next. Or possibly, is this the green pendant?
Yes, this is green pendant, yes.
Alright, so maybe it's the Hostile.
This is why I figured this is a good place to go straight after. We'll just have to see. Meanwhile, I believe there was enough money in the Swamp Palace here that it shouldn't be too big of an issue to get enough to go to Palace of Darkness after this. Yeah, the biggest problem has been Cane of Samaria, and this is funny because we have seen the Cane of Samaria be a problem in a few seeds now. It's not usually an item I have too much difficulty finding, but it's been pretty elusive in some of these here. Yeah, just a compass because all the other items are picked up, but the green pendant could still be something. And EOD has not yet gone to Skull Woods. He doesn't know what the item from the Master Sword pedestal is. He has to realize it's not the cane, so he probably doesn't care what the item is. But even then, not knowing what it is, it could still be something he wants, like Course of Magic. Of course, we know it's not, but it's always the interesting commentary standpoint of, well, we know what it is because one person has checked, but the other person has not. So we have more information than... Between the two runners, we basically have more information as the Mirror Shield. That's actually pretty cool. So even though Turtle Rock is not needed, Mirror Shield is still good because the Mirror Shield helps out in the Mimic Rooms at the start of GT Ascent. So, still a strong item.
Those can be very pesky enemies.
Yes. So, I think you have to bite the bullet here pretty soon and go Ice Palace. I don't think there is much of another play. You could take the chance that Cane of Samaria is in Misery Maya, but the odds of that are incredibly low. So, Skull Woods is a good play. Ice Palace is going to be a good play fairly soon. And yeah, I think that's about the only real places you would want to go right now. Looks like EOD has not yet picked up Bombus yet because he doesn't have the bug net. So he will get his explosive butterfly blaster pretty soon.
And I don't think he's checked Fat Fairy yet. Alanim did. But...
Batcave. That is true. Powder was in Swamp Palace, so it's possible that the Magic Bat has the Canis Samaria here. But EOD is going to check out Ice Palace. I don't believe he has done Skullwood yet, so slightly curious decision. At the same time, you have to do this dungeon anyway because it is a crystal, so curious but not awful, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think this would have been my first choice, but at the same time, it still isn't a bad one to make.
Yeah. Skullwoods is just so much faster, even if you have to get all the chests.
And because it is around Kakariko, then you would also be able to check the Magic Bat as well. So that is the further sort of reasoning as to why it would be my first choice. But we have seen plenty of times in these runs so far that I've commentated that my first choice is not necessarily the choice that actually matters. Most of the time it comes out that the quote-unquote gambles that the players have taken have been better than the choices that I would have made. So
as we saw in the very beginning of this run with the boots.
Yes.
The desert cave.
And I think the biggest one was was it Cryoa maybe? Cryoa that took a chance on Ice Palace having the hammer, and it happened. Like I was pretty vocal of saying that was the worst of the locations that they could have gone, and it just so happened to be the right one. So yeah, just because I don't agree with it first doesn't necessarily make it wrong, you know? That is something you always need to keep in mind when you are sort of criticizing things yourself. It's like, oh, I would have done this differently and it would have been so much better, blah, blah, blah. Not necessarily. That is the nature of the randomizer.
Got the quick kill there on the two Stealthos Knights.
Yeah, that's really good. I thought the bomb might have been slightly too high there, but it was in just the right spot. Very nicely done. Not going for the bomb jump. I think that's... oh no, he is going for the bomb jump. Okay, keep forgetting which way around this switch has to be.
First try. Not bad.
Yeah, very nice. There wasn't a small key in that first chest though, so this may end up...
Oh no! Oh.
I think that happened. That happened to me the first time I did it in a weekly after learning it as well, and then it took me another like 8 tries to get it. Thankfully, not the case for... Oh no!
Just not having luck. Getting it twice in a row and then falling.
Oh, that is awful. Easy every time though, am I right?
At least he's good at... Got the consistency down.
Easy every time.
In my last match, I actually ran out of bombs, failing the bomb jump.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
Very unfortunate.
In my first match, I actually had to use a fairy on it because I failed it like 7 times or something. See the powder picked up for Alanim there?
Yeah, sometimes you just have off days.
Yeah.
Bomb jump.
Sadly, my last race I also got it 3rd try, so I haven't had much luck in the tournament with that bomb jump.
Oh, there's the cane though!
Okay, that... Oh, I guess you could say...
Go mode.
I guess you could say, oh, Kane then? I'm not gonna do that too much.
Leave the terrible puns to the chat.
Alright, so that is the perfect place for it to be too, just before you have to start going the long way round. It's, that is fantastic. Now, 5k puns. Yeah, fantastic place for that to be. Like, the cane is such a big deal because Misery Mire is required. Oh no! Alanim does have a fairy because he chucked the fairy, chucked the bottle in and got that from the fat fairy. So looks like I was right in saying that was the better item for him. Argus kind of trapped him in the corner, and that's what happens. Coldster a little bit too late on the spin there, so he didn't get the quick cycle and takes a death. Does he have a fairy? Yes, he does. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to be allowed to commentate any further matches because of that pun. So hopefully you enjoy this one while it lasts. But yes, the fairies coming in very big from both players. Yeah, not Alan, but EOD actually caught a fairy dungeon, right? So still, he is set to go. There is only very quick Skull Woods to do, and Misery Maya, which might be quick depending on where the big key ends up. So, oh, Alanim missing the bird because the guard got in the way. That's unfortunate. Fired immediately for that pun. Yeah. It's okay. I just need to do commentary of OK Guy, and then fine. Like the puns will just be there the entire time. So looks like we're going to see the magic map being checked here. I do not mind this at all because checking overworld stuff before checking pendant dungeon, not pendant, but dungeons in general is not necessarily a bad play.
Don't see very many good items from this bat though.
Fashion magic could still be a thing, but no, you will be cursed to be dirt poor for all eternity. Oh dear. Luckily, he still has enough money to Palace of Darkness now. So nice bonk from EOD there. This first room is generally kind of annoying to do, but with the Pegasus Boot stuff here, no problem getting a decent run. Only the one more Wizard to kill, and does get it. Very nice. So Alanim, having used a lot of potions and such, I think this is a good play from him, getting the 300 out of the library here, just so that he knows he has enough money to do everything now. Ooh, EOD not checking the chest at the top there first. I think that would be the better way around here, because if that is big key, then you just go north through this room, and you're done. So I would just do that first, because that saves a couple of screen transitions if it is there. If it's not, well, you've checked the chest anyway, so...
That is the pretty standard routing that we usually see.
But that's what makes these things interesting as well, as it turned out not to matter in this case, so there you go. And now it doesn't matter which way around he's gone, because so long as he goes down through the dungeon instead of up to the fish room, like we've seen a lot of people do. And that's exactly what he's doing. So he knows his way around this dungeon very well. It's very easy to get lost in Misery Maya, so I don't blame anyone. I used to go up to the fish room when I first played, because that's what I remembered from my childhood. But the crystal switch in here really makes it pointless to go up there.
Well, we have seen a few races where people go up there and then get a slight lead from the big key being right south of that room, where you need the switch to be there.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Oh, getting lucky with the positioning there. So every single time that I do Misery Maya, okay, almost every single time, the big key is pretty much always in one of the rooms that it, on that west side. You did not realize, I think you can just go left from the room there, and it's probably a bit quicker. There's a telephone thing there.
It is faster to go left there when the big key is in that spot, but
yeah, since you're already there. Oh well. He is going to have to remember, I mean, it's just standard rhythm, but he is going to have to remember to hit the switch as well, the crystal switch, when going the second half of this dungeon. And thankfully we don't have to see any dark rooms here, because the lamp was relatively easy to pick up. Because this place is not nice in the dark. I can tell you that now, for a fact. And I know Alanim's going to be very happy not to have to do it again.
Yeah, as you said earlier, he tried valiantly yesterday, or his previous race.
So we're seeing the cane here. Nicely done. See the bee exchanged for a fairy here. That is pretty good. Get 2 fairies as well. Oh, I didn't even know the bee was going to do that. The bee just kind of waltzed on into the room on the other side. It was like, I'm going to kill myself a jellyfish today. that's pretty entertaining, gotta say.
That's a persistent bee right there.
Yeah. So we are seeing another fairy pickup from here as well. Again, do not blame these players at all. It's just a nice little safety measure to have that. And even if you don't end up needing it, it doesn't cost a huge amount of time to pick up. So very good. Gonna also dust that particular anti-fairy as well, just to get it out of the way. Yeah, bees actually do damage Mothula. Not by much, it is only fighter sword damage, but interesting to not see EOD use the cane here. I've seen a lot of people, myself included, stealing Karkat strategy for this boss with the cape. So, not the cane, the cape. So, you basically just, with Gold Sword, you dash through all of the eyeballs. And it takes the usual sort of 3 rounds. And it's really fun to watch, actually, just seeing him dart across the screen with it rather than slashing them all individually. It's a lot quicker, too. And with the cape out there, I was kind of expecting that to happen, but that's another nice use of the cape.
That's still a relatively new strategy.
Yeah, it is. I've just seen a lot of people copying that after Karkat did it in one race. It was the race I was commentating too. I was literally just like, why didn't I think of that? As Alanim picks up the silver arrows here, he'll be happy to see those, that's for sure. So, do you reckon Alanim's just going to go straight to Ice Palace after this, considering he is running out of options otherwise?
I would hope so, but he might think that the cane is going to be in mire.
I mean, he hasn't gone Dark World Death Mountain yet, so...
That's true. He still needs to do that.
He's gonna hover T-Rock. Yeah, EOD apparently he's updating on the crystal here. I don't know which one it was, so I'm just gonna click one. If I can get it to go. Yeah. I think it was 2, considering what you've done with Alanim there.
2 is Skullwoods.
Oh, well, never mind. It doesn't even matter, because he's done everything he needs to do. He's in go mode, so...
It really doesn't matter.
It's just why I was like, I'm just gonna click the crystal. There was Buttersword. Yeah, so we didn't get to see it the first time round, because the sprite didn't show up, so... There we go.
It's pretty interesting that he came to Skullwoods last.
Yeah, like... ooh. So that's an interesting way of doing that. Very nice. Getting the explosion from the bomb to knock away all the dudes is really good. So here I'm hoping we'll see Kana Samaria being used, but nope. This is another one of those, oh, I actually have an item I'm not supposed to have in this dungeon, let's use it thing. Mostly though, those sorts of things happen with the cane and the hookshot, because they're the ones that tend to let you skip the most, but...
Well,
I suppose he doesn't have the cane yet, yeah. I'm looking at the wrong side. Derp. And he could have still picked up the hearts.
Ready to head straight to Ganon's tower.
Yeah. Making good time.
He'll probably sub 2 if he doesn't get a really troll big key.
Yeah, let's hope not. I mean, I guess for the chat, this tends to be a place where most people say, guess how many chests it's going to be or how many locations it's going to be before you actually get the big key.
Oh, Mega saying 21 out of 22.
Oh.
Chat is not being generous at all.
Stays with 11. 11 was actually what it was in my practice run before doing the commentary here. So I'm also going to go with that, I think. EOD, forgetting that is not the place where you go up in the Dark World.
New Life's disqualified from chat for saying 24.
So even though EOD has not opened up Turtle Rock here, it is actually faster to go up to the Turtle Rock spot to get to the Dark World. Andy timed this when I sort of questioned him on it with the in one of the commentaries we did, and he did the science at the time, assuming relatively poor RNG on both, you know, the dead rocks on both ways around this. It is still about the second faster if you can do the clip to open up the T-Rock spot and still go from there. So when you're not comfortable with the clip, it's definitely quicker doing it with that. But doesn't really matter in the end. Like, it's seconds either way. Sometimes these seconds can make a difference, but for the most part, a lot of races are not decided on the second, they're decided by the minute. So if it's a really, really close race though, you're gonna want to make sure you optimize that all the time.
Every little bit counts.
Now, any item that is required to get to somewhere cannot be in that somewhere. So, like, the Pegasus boots can never be in the Sanctuary Rubble pile because you need the boots in order to get that. It doesn't matter whether the item is needed for the seed to be completable or not. It is impossible for an item that just to be in a spot where it itself is required to open it up. So Alanim is going Dark World Death Mountain before going to Ice Palace. I do like this because you know that you need Bombos to get to Swamp anyway. So at the very not Swamp, Maya.
I'm not sure he even knows Bombos is up there. I think EOD was the only one who did Spiral Cave and checked it way early.
That's true. Alanim didn't do Spiral Cave, so maybe he didn't check. Oh, the big key was completely free, by the way. He's already mirrored out. So the big key was super early in. I think that's five items. Yep. Yeah. Very, very early. Oh, is it 4? Okay, people are saying 4. He opened 5 chests, so...
yeah, it's 5 locations, 4 chests.
Yeah,
he did get the heart container on top of the torch.
Yes, and it is locations rather than chests specifically. That item does get randomized, the torch item, and as we saw with the full heart, and that actually does count towards the total locations checked. It's sort of a grey area though, because if you don't actually get that item, then it doesn't count towards the credits. So you could, there are some people who debate otherwise, but it does count as a checked location. So, and that's what we're going by here. So yeah, managing to get rid of most of the spike traps there. That's pretty good. So here, seeing the Hookshot Cave again with a bottle and a fairy. Always good to get a bottle with something useful in it. Of course, that's not what Alanim is looking for in the moment, but even so.
He's gonna grab yet another fairy at the end of this.
Yep, so I don't mind that at all from EOD, especially with how powerful some of the enemies are here. With only single magic as well, you can't use the Fire Rod nearly as much as I would like to. So, although the full magic would say otherwise there. But the Fire Rod is very good at dealing with the Beast Alphas. Kind of funny that they're so vulnerable to fire. It's almost like the dry bones in Paper Mario, but you know, they are very vulnerable to the fire. They die just as quickly to the fire as they do to anything else. They don't burn like the Dragon Knight guys do. So it's fast to use the fire rod against them. They don't dodge out the way of it. And yeah, it just makes a lot of sense to do. But if you don't have half magic,
well, he's getting a lot of full magic subs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's not using.
Of course, if he was using it, they probably wouldn't drop it.
Yeah.
That sounds like my luck, at least.
Murphy's Law, you know. But yeah, it can make a big difference to how fast you clear those rooms. So if I don't have half magic before going up to Ganon's tower, then I will always make sure I have at least one potion, because using the fire rod does just speed things up. And a lot of the times for me personally, just because of the lag the silver arrows cause, the fire rod is actually just a faster choice, even if I have to go and buy a potion before. It can make that much of a difference. It's a good safety net to have elsewhere anyway, if you accidentally use too much magic in other places. So Alanim has made his way to Ice Palace, so we know he is going to find the cane here. And yeah, Bomb Burst is a good strategy in that first room. Nicely done getting out of that room without any issues as well. Getting through doorways with ice physics without using the pegs. Oh, unlucky missing the single cycle. Yeah, getting through the ice rooms without using the Pegasus boots to stop your momentum is a right pain in the butt. So kudos for that. This EOD just casually walks off the ledge. I've done that a few times as well. It's frustrating because you miss a cycle. But so he is setting himself up to take the pot at the top here. That does mean he's going to have to slow down slightly for the transition thing there, for the door to close again, but looks like he got up pretty easily, so no problems there.
Already has all the keys you need, doesn't need to mess with the mini Helmosaurs.
Yep. Also, nice menuing there. It's a subtle little thing, but he went left in the menu instead of going through the menu normally, because going horizontally through the menu, you can go up and down with it too, and it just makes it a lot. Not quite sure why he hit the crystal switch there, and also didn't use the magic powder on the anti-fairies there, which is a bit surprising given the rest of the play that we've seen.
He does have a lot of fairies, though.
Yeah, I just thought he would have wanted to heal. Alanim is making really good use of Bomb Burst, by the way. A lot of these rooms are really awkward. He doesn't have a small key to get across yet, so yeah, a lot of these rooms are really awkward to deal with by themselves. So using the Bomb Burst is a consistent play. Obviously not the fastest you can do it, but it is very consistent, and if you're not happy with the rooms otherwise, then I do not blame you in the slightest for doing that. Yep, it is the other one you have to hit. And Canis Samaria has been found. He is in go mode. I don't think he hit the bomb jump. So, no, he did not.
Nope,
so he does have to find a big key. Wow, that's not... Oh, almost a triple hit there. Would have been really cool to see that. But still, getting through the Aghanim fight without too much of an issue. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, was it Red Boomerang that was in the Moldorm chest? I wasn't looking that way because I was busy seeing what Alanim was doing. I guess we can mark that off anyway. Why not?
Yeah, I didn't notice he even opened the Moldorm 2 chest.
There's a room I haven't seen in a while, and it is Ganon Bix that we are seeing here.
I think with Butter Sword and Silvers, he'll be fine even without half magic.
Yeah. Kinda not a fan of putting bacon with stuff, so he must die for that sin. That is all we can say for that. Easily getting through the second phase there. Nice hook shots to make sure it doesn't waste any magic. Not quite getting the sword hits off here. Finally gets another one through. Those fire bats are really painful if they can stack up though, because they do linger beyond the phase that's beyond like the first teleport there. And due to the fact of Ganon, all of Ganon's random teleporting has been removed in the randomizer, they can stack up quite nastily. Yes, the arrows were in the Dark Palace, we found that, and it looks like Alanim has found his big key. No torch glitch here, not really too big of a problem, but you have
He almost fell, but he actually died.
The combo!
It's gonna waste a fairy and still fall. Oh, that is one of the most unfortunate things I've seen on that fight.
He has got to be very upset with himself. That was amazing for all the wrong reasons. Oh.
Hopefully somebody clipped that, even though I don't think EOD will be happy about seeing that again.
So, I don't think he has any potions for his magic. I, at this point, would consider going to get one.
Fine, as long as he doesn't use the fire rod, probably.
Yeah, if he doesn't use the fire rod and he gets torch glitch, preferably, then he'll be fine. But this is a dangerous amount of magic to go into this fight with. Missing the first hit there too, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference.
Alright, Alanim does have the big key now. He's about to fight Cold Stay. Or he still needs a small key.
Wow, nice hook shot. Is there? Yeah, there's no small key to be found in here, unfortunately. I didn't see if he got the small key in the room to the right here. There's a small key in the pot in the top left corner here. I'm assuming he got it because usually would. But otherwise he's going to have to go all the way up to the top. Oh, takes the death too. If he doesn't do the bomb jump, he's going to have to go all the way up to the top of the Ice Palace again. He did go through the key door, missing the torch glitch again here. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, because you can, with enough magic there, so long as you say he doesn't use the fire rod, he should be fine here.
Yeah, he still has a lot of torch usage available.
Yeah.
Or lamp usage.
You just gotta be you gotta be really careful with those bats. The DI on those things is ridiculous. Like, it's impossible to tell where you're gonna land when you use those.
Oh, and he gets a double to finish.
That's gonna help a lot. Yeah, that is really good. So, GG to you. And if I bring up my time here, it looks like he has an official SRL time, beating his personal best too. An official SRL time of 1 hour 56 and 43. Beating his previous personal best by 23.5 minutes almost. Absolutely phenomenal.
His first sub 2. Congrats to EOD. On a great race. And Alanim's still not too far behind. Actually, he has a crystal that we forgot to mark off.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I've been focusing on other stuff. Alright, so, hello there.
Hello.
How's it going?
Excellent race there. Definitely very well done.
What a great end, though.
Yeah, you beat your previous time by over 20 minutes. That is very good.
Yeah, the win and the PB. Congrats on that.
Well, that was my only race before, so.
Yeah, but even so, that's really good. So, have you done many races off of SRL then?
I've done a few.
Okay. How does this compare to your other best times?
That's actually pretty good. Even what, considering that seed, it's really good. That start of that seed was just insane.
Yeah, the start was crazy. I was thinking there really isn't anything going at the beginning of this, and I think Alanim did go to Eastern Palace a bit earlier. He did get the hookshot before you did, but by the time that you actually needed to use the hookshot, it was more favorable for you because you already had stuff like the mirror, so you could do a lot more within Death Mountain than you could. So it's pretty good. Kane of Samaria, once again proving to be quite a problem to find.
Yeah,
what was your sort of thought process through that?
What's that?
What was your sort of thought process through that as the areas were winding down? Was there any sort of worry that it could have been like in a really horrible spot, such as, you know, Misery Mire itself, or...
Yeah, when I got into Ice Palace, I was like, oh, it's gonna be in Misery Mire, isn't it? But then I found it right before I fell down the hole to the boss.
Yeah,
like, yes.
The bomb jump there as well. Like, fantastic job on getting it all 3 times in a row, but man, the bomb jump there, that was
painful.
I don't know what I was doing there. I was too busy laughing, I guess, at my own.
Yeah, I would have been doing the same thing in my head, at least. I probably would have been cursing myself for falling off twice, but I'd have been laughing at it straight after as well.
The time I hooked to the fireball thing, that just confused me. I was like, what the heck just happened there?
So, what was the decision for going there before Skull Woods then? Was there any major sort of reason for that? Or?
I just forgot about Skullwoods, honestly.
Yeah, okay,
that might have been the case.
That's a pretty fair reason, yes. Yeah, because it's very possible just to think about, oh, you know, Skullwoods would be the obvious one here because it's a fast dungeon and make it work that way, but Ice Palace can be kind of quick if you can get a key within the first couple of chests, as you did, so... You know.
Unfortunately, Alanim not getting a bomb jump. He's been spending quite a bit of time in the Ice Palace.
Yeah. So yeah, what, if anything, I guess, what have you learned from this that you'd take on to your future races? Because if this is only your second race, then you've still got a couple more to go, right?
Yeah, I have 2 more. I don't know, really. At the start, I kind of almost skipped the bomb wall because I did a few runs of NMG before.
Right, yes. It's very easy to forget when you have this muscle memory built up of, oh, I only need these particular items, I don't need to get any of the other chests. It's very easy to just miss things. And I think the opposite is true as well. If you've just been doing a whole bunch of randos, then it's possible when you go to No Major Glitches stuff, it's, oh, why am I getting all of these useless items I don't need? So it can be difficult to translate the muscle memory between the two. Like, I don't actually speedrun the game, but I've heard it from a lot of people who do, that it's very easy to miss these things.
Yeah.
So,
another time I did a randomizer right before and I just confused all those places, so I was like, I'm not gonna do that, I'll just do some NMG instead.
So, were you hoping to find the cane before going up to Darkworld Death Mountain again? Because I know you saw Bombos up there, so you knew that you needed to go back there.
I actually meant to go back up there a dungeon earlier.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, because we did comment a little bit on how neither of you went up there for absolutely ages. I thinking, oh, Kane is probably up there then because nobody's gone there. So just for the sort of spite aspect, if nothing else.
I usually do Eastern Light World and Dark World Death Mountain at the same time, so I guess that's something I learned. Is like a lot of the times when I'm in a race, the seed just doesn't allow me to do what I usually do.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I guess the other one in hindsight would be Tower of Terror, because we saw Titansmith was actually in there, and you had the ability to go up.
Yes. When I got that, I was like, oh my god, I could have just got up. Because I went the first 2 items, and I was like, okay, I'm out.
It's like, yeah, you could have actually gone up, and I did sort of wonder why you didn't there. I don't know if there's any real reason for it, or if it was just I just want to check what's in the first small area and then leave.
I was there anyways, and the first two are pretty close.
Yeah, so
I guess the next two are too if you get the big key in one of those two, but I just didn't.
yeah, it's a bit of a shame in the end, because with what items you had at the time, if you did check the Tower of Hera there, then you could have done East Side Death Mountain at the same time.
Yeah.
You would have done the entirety of Death Mountain, basically, minus the Spike Cave. So, a little bit of an unfortunate thing there, but maybe something to pick up for next time of just, if you can, just bite the bullet and do Tower of Hera.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it does seem to happen quite often that there's stuff there which is needed.
And it's pretty short, and if you're there anyways, there's no
Yeah.
reason not to do it.
That's
The
the
only-
general thinking, yep.
Yeah, the only catch is if you don't have a fire source and you need to go basement, which you didn't this time, but if you needed to go basement, then you have to remember to do that later. But so long as you remember stuff like that, that and Thieves Town is another one that happens quite often with that. If you don't get the hammer before going in, then you need to remember to do that. But stuff like that, they're still pretty quick dungeons to check, so that might be something to pick up on in the future.
Yeah. Another thing about this seed was a lot of the dungeons, the last two items were both map and compass.
Yeah.
That barely ever happens to me, so I was just so confused.
Yeah, I initially got a bit confused as to why you didn't take the big chest in Palace of Darkness, and then when we saw the pause menu later, it's, oh, you actually haven't found map or compass yet. That's interesting. And
Yeah,
so,
I
yeah,
was-
nicely done with that.
Since I split up that dungeon, I didn't quite keep track, but then when I saw, when I was switching to mirror that I didn't have either, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just leave this.
Yeah. So,
Man,
definitely well done with that, because that's something, it's less common now than it was in version 6, because in version 6 the boss hearts weren't randomized, so it was much more common for map and compass to be the last two chests, because map or compass could not be from the boss. So it's less common to happen nowadays, but it's still something that's worth keeping in mind, that you may not have to open every chest just
Especially
because
in-
you've got...
POD with 14, I believe,
Yeah.
locations. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
it's especially rare to have it happen there. So yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
No, not really. Thanks for having me.
Well, congratulations again, and I hope you do well on your next races.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, with the schedule being as packed as it is here, we are actually going to move on to the next race once Alanim has taken out Vitreous. So, thank you guys very much for joining in with this race. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have. And, basically, until the next time I end up doing something here, I shall talk to you guys later. Enjoy the next race, and yeah, have fun.
Alright, well, I'm Fantasy Feeder, and that was Gamer Cal.
Yep. Take care, guys.
We'll see you later.
Yes, definitely follow the runners. That is everything. I always forget to say that, and I apologize every time. I definitely follow the runners. They have been fantastic during this. This is the second race of Alanims that I have casted now, and they have both been very enjoyable. So make sure you do follow both players here. Alright, take care, guys.
Alright guys, you enjoying yourself so far? Got another nice race coming up. It's going to be Zelda versus Oglib. I am JC87.
I am Mythical9. And this is the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. You know. You guys already know.
The only thing we don't know is what we're going to see in this run. So, any votes on what the first item is going to be?
What's a juicy one?
The nice one is always boots.
Yeah, that's kind of the one, isn't it?
Mirror is also really nice.
I absorbed the other 8 and became the one true commentator. So our runners today, Xylo and Oglib. Oglib mostly known for Mario, I would say. But he's stepping into some Zelda here. I'm going to